The SuPREME CD study, Cono-S anastomosis. Welcome to the Everything Surgery podcast, where we explore the latest advancements and insights in surgical care. Today, we're discussing the SuPREME CD study, a groundbreaking randomized clinical trial focused on surgical prevention of anastomotic recurrence by excluding the mesentery in patients with Crohn's disease. This study set out to compare two types of surgical techniques for ileocolic Crohn's disease. On one hand, we have the Cono-S anastomosis, a novel anti-mesenteric, functional, end-to-end, hand-sewn ileocolic connection. On the other, the conventional stapled ileocolic side-to-side anastomosis. Previous investigations have suggested that the Cono-S approach could significantly reduce the risk of recurrence in Crohn's disease, and this trial aimed to put that to the test in a rigorous, randomized setting, conducted at a tertiary referral institution. The primary goal of the study was to measure endoscopic recurrence, using the Rutgerot scoring system, 6 months following surgery. Secondary goals included tracking clinical recurrence rates at 12 and 24 months, as well as evaluating endoscopic recurrence at 18 months and surgical recurrence at 24 months. The trial enrolled 79 patients with ileocolic Crohn's disease, dividing them into two groups. 36 patients underwent the Cono-S anastomosis, while 43 received the conventional side-to-side anastomosis. The findings were striking. 6 months after surgery, the Cono-S group experienced a significantly lower rate of both endoscopic and clinical recurrence compared to the conventional group, 22.2% versus 62.8%. Additionally, severe postoperative endoscopic recurrence was less frequent in the Cono-S group, at 13.8%, compared to 34.8% in the conventional group. Looking further ahead, the Cono-S group continued to show lower rates of recurrence. After 12 months, only 8% experienced recurrence, compared to 18% in the conventional group. At the 24-month mark, the Cono-S group's recurrence rate was 18%, while that of the conventional group stood at 30.2%. Surgical resection rates after 24 months were also lower in the Cono-S group, with none of the patients requiring further surgery, as opposed to a resection rate of 4.6% in the conventional group. Interestingly, patients who underwent Cono-S anastomosis took slightly longer to achieve clinical recovery compared to those who received side-to-side anastomosis. However, when analyzing the data through binary logistic regression, Cono-S anastomosis emerged as the only factor significantly associated with a reduced risk of both endoscopic and clinical recurrence. Importantly, the study found no significant differences in postoperative complications between the two surgical approaches, underscoring the safety of the Cono-S technique. In summary, this marks the first randomized controlled trial to directly compare the Cono-S anastomosis with the standard approach in Crohn's disease. The results clearly demonstrate a substantial reduction in postoperative endoscopic and clinical recurrence rates for patients treated with the Cono-S technique, with no additional safety risks. Thank you for tuning into the Everything Surgery podcast. If you enjoy our deep dives into surgical innovation, please like, share, and subscribe for more episodes dissecting the extraordinary.